Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys 1/6 scale Star Wars figure unboxing and review video. Now today we are going back into the archives and doing another retro review. This figure right here has eluded me for the longest time. It's been my grail. Whenever anyone asked me in my live streams which figure is the one that got away, it's always been this one. But finally, thanks to Mark from Gumtree, I've managed to pick it up, and I couldn't be more excited to finally get it out here. It is a Hot Toys exclusive item, and it's long since sold out, so if you are looking to get this, you might be able to pick one up from toyswonderland.com. If it is available, I'll put the link in the description below. But be forewarned, it will be incredibly pricey. What we are going to do now though is get the box laying flat in the light box and do the unboxing. Here of course we have the box art for Jyn Erso. I can't tell you how excited I am to finally have this figure. It is a really simple box art style. We do have the usual Star Wars fare with an image of the figure right up there on the front of the box, looking fantastic. We do also have that Rogue One style additional piece along the front and onto the side with an image of the helmet. It kind of gives me Death Star gunner vibes, but I don't mind that whatsoever. It's a really unique design for a trooper helmet. We do of course have another image of the figure, plus a little bit of a sneak peek of K2SO on the side there. And here we finally have her in all her glory. I personally am not exactly sure if I'm going to be going with the helmet on or with the helmet off in my display. If you want to give me some advice on how you would display the figure, let me know down in the comments below. But yeah, here she is, and I'm over the moon. This figure looks as fantastic as it did in all the promo pics in hand. More on that though a little bit later in the video. Now as you can see, she does come with an array of stuff. So what we are going to do now is get all of her accessories laid out in the light box and take a closer look at everything she comes with. And here we have all the bits and pieces that come with Jyn. It is kind of slim pickings here, but that's totally fine. If you want more accessories, go for the deluxe version of the very same character. Now as for the display base, it's super simple, the usual Death Star style flooring with just Jyn printed on the front. No Imperial disguise Jyn, no Jyn Erso, just her first name, because we are on a first name basis now, it would seem. We do have a regular crotch grabber up on top there. She does come with the swap out helmet, which I really like the look of. I also like the leather style detail on the back that is all a sculpted plastic, so no pleather was used in the making of this helmet. You will see this on the figure later on in the video. She also comes with a Stormtrooper blaster pistol. I love the paint applications on this. It has silver weathering and wear and tear all throughout, plus a big honkin' sight up on top there. She does come with these two batons. These I do believe are used to help the aircraft either take off or land, but they do have these nice orange sections up on top, and this gradation to the paint finish down to the darker metallic paint on the handle. They look fantastic, but one of the coolest things about these is those three dots are magnets. So bringing in Jyn really simply and easily, they literally just magnetize on the back and they do not fall out. It's a super simple yet very effective way to holster those pieces. Lastly, she only comes with 3 hands, and they are exactly the same as the deluxe Jyn Erso. They are all fingerless gloves, and they are quite nicely painted with a wash over the top of the leathery style sculpt there. They do look fantastic. What we are going to do now though is get Jyn herself out here and take a closer look. And here we have her standing straight up and down in the light box, no crazy poses or accessories or anything like that. And doesn't she just look absolutely fantastic? The outfit design is very, very simple. but I love it. It's a nice blend of a bunch of different Stormtrooper designs, and we'll touch on that in just a second. I love the slightly bluish grey undersuit, the super high gloss armor, and then when you pop the helmet on, which we will do, it looks even better. I am not sure why it's taken me this long to finally pick this figure up. Maybe I was waiting for the right time or the right price or whatever it might be, but I'm so very glad that I finally have it in the collection. What we are going to do now though is take her off the rotating turntable, punch in and take a closer look at the details. And here we have her up close and personal. I still cannot believe that I finally have this figure in hand. Was it worth the wait? Yeah, I honestly think it was. She looks fantastic. The head sculpt is exactly the same to the original version, except this time the eyes are ever so slightly off to the side, giving it a little bit more attitude. I personally really like that, and it differentiates this figure from the original release. She also has her hair tied up at the back. As for the outfit, it's basically a mashup of various trooper designs. We have this top armor plate here that is a moving floating piece, so it will get out of the way of articulation. It's done in a beautiful high gloss black, and it does have some weathering in the crevices. Now you do have even more weathering on the back and 2 slots for the batons she comes with. You will see them stored in the backpack later on in the video. She also has this TIE fighter pilot style belt with some weathering over the top of that as well. She has a com/data pad on her sleeve there, which is really nicely painted. I didn't even notice she had that in the film, and I'm glad Hot Toys did. You do have an Imperial cog with some kind of tech detail on the inside. I don't think I've ever seen one quite like this before. You also have a couple of pockets up there on the sleeve and another Imperial cog on the other side. You've of course already seen the fingerless gloves in the accessory segment. Lastly, she does have this striping that runs all the way down from the top of the suit to the legs up to the boots, and I really like that. It gives you a little bit more flair in the overall relatively simple design. She has these knee pads which are nicely scuffed up, but is it just me or do her knees sit quite low? They're all the way down here. That means her thigh is quite large. I also had that issue with the first Jyn Erso. How is her lower leg so incredibly tiny compared to her upper leg? Because it does move all the way up here, so that means this is her thigh. Didn't realize that they were doing proportions like this back in the day, but you can luckily shift up the knee pads. They will no longer be on the actual knees, but it will make her look slightly more in proportion. Lastly, she does have a really nice sculpt to her boots. They are unfortunately a little bit more restrictive in terms of articulation, but they look like leather, and they also do have tread sculpted on the underside, plus these little straps on the back there, just like real boots would have. Now I know you're all curious what she looks like wearing the helmet, and I am too. And there you have it. I personally really like the way this looks. It's a very interesting design. It has this sort of under mouthpiece which sticks out, kind of like Fennec's helmet in The Mandalorian and now in The Bad Batch. I really like the way it looks. It's a super high gloss and it does have some detail around the back, which I know you've already seen. I also like the fact that the visor is completely black. In the film, you could see her eyes, or maybe that was in one shot in the trailer, but you could see her eyes through the visor. I'm glad they didn't do that for figure format, so you could technically use this as just a regular Imperial trooper in the display, which is something I'm tempted to do because the design is so incredibly unique. Now for a quick side-by-side comparison, here we have both versions of Jyn standing together. Don't they just look fantastic? I love both of these figures in their own right, but now that I have the Imperial Disguise version in hand, I'm over the moon. I just need that Jeddah Patrol 2-pack of Stormtroopers to complete my Rogue One display. So if you do have that 2-pack and you're willing to let it go, shoot me a message because I'd love to pick it up and review it on the channel and finally complete my Rogue One collection. But as it stands, I'm super happy I have both versions of Jyn now. I just have to figure out how to fit her in to the display, and as I've said a couple of times in this video, whether or not I go with or without the helmet. And here we have both head sculpts side by side. They are identical, as I said earlier, it's just the disguise version has the eyes off to one side, whereas the deluxe Jyn has them going straight on. I personally prefer the disguise version of Jyn. I don't know what it is about this Imperial outfit, but it just wins me over. I love the deluxe as well. They are both fantastic releases. But if you can get the deluxe version, maybe it's just because I've been hunting for it so long and I'm a little bit biased. Who knows, but I would absolutely recommend getting this one. At the end of the day though, no matter which one you have, they're both fantastic. Just going over articulation on Jyn. Now bear in mind this is my personal copy of the figure, so I'm going to be a little bit more careful. I'm sure when you get yours in hand, you can push the joints slightly further than I'm willing to go. Now it is on a fixed neck body, so it is a little bit more restricted. However, as you can see, it is rubbery, so it does move out of the way quite nicely. The arms themselves will go up to about there. They will go forward on soft ratchets to about there, butterfly joint at the shoulder, a double bend at the elbow, swivel at the bicep, and a regular female style 1/6 scale wrist peg. As for the torso, you get a crunch going forward and back, swivel and pivot side to side. The legs themselves are slightly restricted for some reason. I think there's some kind of padding under here to stop them from going any further forward. They hit and stop at about there, going out to there, swivel at the upper thigh, a double bend at the knee, and of course a ball joint at the ankle. However, they are a little bit taller boots, so you do have a little bit more restriction in terms of how you can move these ankles. Just wrapping up on the Imperial Disguise Jyn Erso. Now you'll have to take what I'm going to say with a grain of salt because I'm incredibly biased. This figure has been the one that got away for the longest period of time, and now I finally have it in the collection, so yeah, I automatically love it. The design of the suit is simple yet classic Star Wars. I love the head sculpt, the helmet looks awesome. The accessories, while there aren't a ton, they are pretty well done with the magnets that slot into the backpack, and of course this figure being an exclusive is kind of the draw anyway. It does come with that awesome helmet, so you can create a different trooper design if that's what you wanted for the collection, rather than another Jyn Erso. I personally am leaning towards having her with the helmet on, but I am partial to having her with the helmet off as well, because the head sculpt is that darn good. Now luckily I was able to pick up mine off Mark on Gumtree locally, but if you are looking to grab one, I'm pretty sure she is available with toyswonderland.com. The link for that is in the description below, but she will be pricey because she is long since sold out. You have been forewarned. Also, while you are down in the description, why not check out the link to 6 Scale Network, the awesome Facebook group. Come along, chat figures, share photos of your collection, and of course, see what's coming up next on the channel. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we'll catch you in the next video.